The Slayer is back slaying demons. But this time, instead of futuristic settings, we are thrown back into the medieval era where it all started. Except, Doom the Dark Ages brings a new twist to the franchise, giving it a breath of fresh air from other installments in the series. What makes this game unique and different from the others? Let's rip and tear to find out.
Hey, this is Sean from Gamer Braves. It's been 8 years since we established Gamer Braves channel. We went to a lot of overseas game conference. We did a lot of exclusive interview with a lot of prominent figures from the industry, Ryuzo Sugimoto, Sean Layden, and even Yagu. One of the easiest way to support us is to subscribe to our channel. Support like this will actually gives us motivation and pushes us to produce better content. If you have already subscribed, thank you so much. Please enjoy the rest of the video.
Before we get into the story, be warned that what I'm about to say contains minor spoilers from early part of the game story, so be warned. Okay, so we play as Slayer, an absolute unit of a person owned and controlled by the Maker. Feared by demons, you are a relentless force capable of shifting the balance in war. Your mission is to aid the Sentinels of Argent the Noor in defending their kingdom against Prince Azrak's assault as he seeks the Heart of Argent, a treasured artifact of immense power that could greatly enhance his strength. In the beginning, the Slayer is merely a vessel of pure rage, stripped of humanity and emotion, driven solely by hatred for demons and bound to the will of the Maker. His only purpose is to destroy demons as ordered. However, as the conflict intensifies, the Slayer begins to rebel against the Maker's control, choosing his own path in aiding the Sentinels and continuing the fight on his own terms. When starting a new Doom game, you will be greeted with 4 base difficulties, which are Aspiring Slayer, Hurt Me Plenty, Ultra Violence, and Nightmare. Of course, it isn't a Doom game without Permadeath mode, which is the Pandemonium and Ultra Nightmare. Depending on which difficulty you choose, the level of enemy's aggression will differ, and so does the timing window for your parry. To top it off, a new difficulty slider feature is also introduced so that you can fine-tune the difficulty settings for things like damage, resources, and aggression to match your playstyle, which will label your difficulty with an asterisk and amp tag to differentiate between modified and preset difficulty. Enough about difficulties, and let's get to the best part of the game, which is the weapon. Doom the Dark Ages introduces a brand new weapon to the game, which is the Shield Saw, and it is a core part of the combat here. Parrying those green Hell Surge attacks is a must. Miss the timing and you are toast. Nailing it feels incredible, and we even found ourselves chasing down the green projectiles just to land the perfect parry and counter. You can also shield charge to close gaps or break through walls for exploration. And then there's the shield throw, which one-shots fodder or stuns tougher demons to set them up for damage. For armored enemies, shoot their armor until it glows red, then hit them with a shield throw for a big damage. Once the shield is upgraded, the throw can even bounce between shielded targets. Melee weapon hit just as hard. You will unlock the power of Gauntlet with combos that stun, the flail for area blast, and the heavy-hitting Dread Mace. Each one charges up either over time or from parries. Rushing in, landing a clean parry, then slamming a Dread Mace or blasting with a flail feels insanely satisfying. The Dread Mace especially has only one charge, but it is the most damaging and very impactful. Once you get into the rhythm, parry, charge, combo, it all clicks. Melee and the Shield Saw just flow together and carry the combat. While melee weapons are fun and satisfying to play with, let's not forget about guns, which have been pretty much the identity of the Doom series. Guns matter, and there are 12 of them in the game, like Rail Spikes Shredder to Plasma Rifle, the Skull Crushing Machine Guns, and Explosive Launchers. In the later part of the game, you can get BFC Crossbow with the highest damage output among other weapons, but the catch is that it only has 3 ammo, and it only can be refilled by finding the ammo for it in the world. Even with all the weapon options, we kept coming back to melee and the Shield Saw, so we only swapped to guns for certain armored enemies using heavy hitters like the River Chain Shot or Super Shotgun. Upgrades really brings everything together. You will spend gold and rubies to upgrade your gear. Some guns even have branching upgrade paths for variety. Later on, you unlock rune slots for the Shield Saw that add cool effects to your parry, like spawning energy blades or auto turrets. You can also boost your health, ammo, or armor by taking down champions or bosses and the leaders, aka mini-bosses. Speaking of those, the enemy variety stays fresh. Each chapter introduces new demons with unique abilities. Some really force you to pay attention, since getting too aggressive gets punished hard. There's animation locking when you melee or switch weapons, which leaves you open if you miss timing. And a single parry might not be enough, as some enemies chain their attacks. That slower, more deliberate style might turn off fans of Doom 2016 or Eternal who prefer fast-paced, constant action. In this game, you've got to think before you act. There's also a cool twist called morale encounters, where leaders are invulnerable until you kill waves of other demons to lower their morale. With so many enemies and projectiles flying around, prioritizing targets become key, and it really cranks up the intensity. Overall, the combat trades speed for strategy, but it still hits just as hard. Early on, the level design in the Dark Ages feel refreshingly straightforward. You are rarely backtracking or brute forcing your way to find secrets, paths are clear, the map is super helpful, and the minimap keeps you on track. As long as you stay aware of your surroundings, it is smooth sailing through most of the early areas. But in the mid to late game, the very same corridors open up into large, open zones that can feel a bit too empty at times. We ended up wandering more than we were fighting, especially when revisiting cleared out sections just to explore. It makes sense with the whole war setting, and luckily the Slayer moves fast, but we think those open segments could have been tighter or had more filler enemies to keep the pace up. Puzzles for upgrades and secrets are decent, nothing too hard. Mostly about spotting the right spot to hit with your shield throw or charge. A few puzzles made us think, but overall they are just light brain teasers. And then you've got special chapters. Riding dragons sounds awesome, but it plays more like a classic rail shooter. You lock onto turrets, dodge projectiles, and repeat until their shields drop. It's not really a dogfight, you are just chasing down ships and squeezing through tight spots. It's fun, just a big shift from the usual demon slaying. You still drop down to fight on foot, taking out ship's cores or clearing hidden mini-bosses, so it's not all on rails. The Atlan Mech stage leans into the gimmick hard. You punch, dodge to build charge, then unload with big special attacks. Sometimes you get a huge machine gun that powers up from perfect dodges, but honestly, the punching is way more fun. It's slow and heavy, but that's exactly the point. You feel like a mech smashing kaiju demons. It's a cool change of pace from the usual action. One thing we really liked is the game always gives you a clear warning before a point of no return with a door icon, so you won't miss out on secrets if you are paying attention. It's a small touch, but it makes exploring feel stress-free. I have got to hand it to the sound design. Everything hits with real impact. Melee attacks land with a bone-crunching thud, guns roar like they're ripping demons apart, the shield saws clang, and the sound of armor breaking are brutally satisfying. Even the Atlan Mech's punches carry this deep, seismic weight, and when it's duking it out with a massive demon in the distance, the echoes make the whole battlefield feel alive. It really pulls you into the action. That said, while the sound effects are awesome, the music doesn't quite hit the same highs. The Dark Ages sticks with the industrial metal energy you would expect from Doom, but none of the tracks really sticks with you or gets your adrenaline going. After the unforgettable riffs of Doom 2016 and Eternal, this soundtrack feels a bit toned down, and a big part of that is the absence of Mick Gordon, whose music helped define the series' modern sound. Overall, the audio work is immersive, but if you are hoping for another iconic Doom soundtrack, this one might leave you wanting for more. After spending some time pushing through Doom the Dark Ages, we came away genuinely impressed with Doom's medieval spin. The story's still mostly there to set up the action, but with more cutscenes and dialogue this time around, we actually found ourselves caring at least a little about the fight for Argent Denur. Combat is easily the highlight. Getting the timing down on Shield Saw's parry felt incredible, especially when you follow it up by stunning a heavy demon and crushing it with a Dread Mace combo that practically shakes the screen. The flow between parries and melee is so smooth that we barely touched the guns, though the good old super shotgun and other heavy hitters still had their moments. Enemy variety ramps up with more aggressive, melee-focused foes that push you to master parrying, but their attack patterns stay the same throughout the game. Higher difficulties make them hit harder, but not smarter, though tightening the parry window adds extra intensity. The level design starts off strong, tight and focused, but later on opens up into larger areas that sometimes overstay their welcome. The Dragon and Mech stages are cool change-ups, but they also remind you that Doom is at its best when your boots are on the ground and you are tearing through demons up close. Performance-wise, since we played Doom on PC, the game ran great, rock solid 90 FPS with the highest setting possible. The sound design is punchy and impactful as ever. The only letdown? The soundtrack. It hits the usual industrial metal notes, but doesn't really leave a lasting impression, especially compared to the bangers from Doom 2016 and Eternal. In terms of replayability, mainly comes from personal challenges like higher difficulty and hunting for missed secrets or upgrading currency. While the branching upgrade paths offer some variety, like different effects or fire modes, they don't drastically change how weapons feel, so it mostly comes down to preferences rather than creating strong reasons to replay. If you are down for more methodical, tactical take on Doom with a brutal medieval twist and a bit more character work, The Dark Ages is a fresh and satisfying entry in the Slayer's saga. Overall, Doom The Dark Ages is a fresh take on the series with a solid balance of combat and story, and we're giving it an 8.5 out of 10. So that's it for Doom The Dark Ages. What do you think of this game? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button for more videos like this. Catch you in the next one.